Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we've got our 24th episode of my top 10 setups of the day. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more of these amazing setups. To start off our list today, we've got this very simple and clean setup, starting with their PC. They've got an i9 9700K, a ROG Strix 2080 Ti, and 32GB of 3200MHz Trident C RAM. I'm a huge fan of having a matching board under the PC that not only keeps it off the carpet, but also aesthetically matches the desk. Speaking of the desk, it's a Topsky 55-inch desk that has a nice industrial feel to the build, and on it you can spot a Dell monitor and a set of Logitech Z200 multimedia speakers. To finish off this setup, we've also got an hour-long fabric chair from Staples. I think this is a really good start for a setup, but I would love to see a little bit more personality go into it in the form of some wall decor or maybe some small trinkets on the desk. Our next setup comes to us from the Bear Claws with their super cute and cozy setup. The desk is super interesting and is a Lufia L-shaped desk which we don't see very often. For peripherals, you can see a dual monitor setup that's mounted to a Vivo dual monitor mount, an Astro A40 Pro mix amp, and a pair of Astro TR headphones. This setup really shines in its decor, with an awesome assortment of art on the wall and beautiful plants around the room and on the monitors as wallpapers. We're kicking it back with our next setup from Simply Justin 1, whose setup gives off huge retro 70s vibes. One of the first things in this setup that catches your eye is that amazing chair, which not only has a fun maroon colour that changes it up from the white and black that we normally see, but the more egg shape it has is so reminiscent of chairs in the 60s and 70s. On that very tall desk we've got another dual monitor setup, this time with two HP monitors. Similarly to our previous spot on this list, these monitors are both mounted to the incredibly popular Vivo dual monitor mount. Although the decoration in this setup is relatively minimal, what's there is very unique and creative, and also adds a nice warm pop of colour to the otherwise mostly white and black peripherals and PC. Up next we've got this super minimal and clean setup from LXCA56. The main focus here is that impressive triple monitor setup, which includes two Liyama G Master Blackhawk GE2288HS-B1 monitors on the left and the right, and a Dell S2717DG monitor in the middle. These are all individually mounted to the wall with three Arctic W1-3D wall mounts. The floating shelves add a nice bit of variety to the build without messing up the minimalistic aesthetic. My one critique would be to add something to the upper right shelf so it doesn't look unfinished and weirdly empty. Pokemon fans, brace yourself for how cool and cute this next setup is from Up in the Air. This setup is powered by that white laptop, which is connected to a mounted 29-inch monitor. In front of the laptop we have a super cute keyboard with custom keycaps that match the wallpaper and wall art, and a matching white Razer mouse. Flanking the monitors you can see two impressive Yamaha HS7 monitors in white, with the right one having an adorable replica Cubone mask on top. I love the use of a classic art piece, in this case the Great Wave of Kanagawa, and mixing it with tech and pop culture. Our next setup comes from Goatchops56 and is a lot more urban and industrial than we normally see. Their desk is an IKEA Saljan kitchen top with a nice orange wood colour. For a monitor they're using an LG Ultrawide, and below that you can spot a Grove made wool desk pad, a Keychron K6 keyboard, and a Massdrop X Sennheiser HD58X headset. Whilst I do have a very nice headset, if speakers are more your thing then you'll appreciate the Edifier R980T speakers. You can see into their PC on the right and you can appreciate those red and orange RGB that matches super nicely with their Edison bulb lamp. Coming in at our number 4 slot is another very minimal setup, this time from user Edito22UK. But this setup is actually from 6 years ago. Their monitor is not only an LG ultra-wide monitor, but it is one of the very first LG ultra-wide monitors that was ever offered. On the desk below the monitor is a Ducky Shine 2 keyboard, which we always love to see, and then they've got a SteelSeries mouse, and 2 Yamaha HS5 speakers on stands. For a setup that was built in 2015, this build totally stands out, and if I wasn't told that it was 6 years old, I would have just assumed it was a modern build taking advantage of some older tech. Switching gears to a much more fun and colourful setup, we've got this adorable, unique Kirby themed setup from Mother Brain. Even though it's a very small detail, one of my favourite things about this build is that the bezel on the monitor is custom painted to be pink, which is a very nice change up from the normal black and white monitor bezels that we normally see. Below this colourful monitor is an equally colourful EpoMaker SK64 keyboard, and what appears to be a matching pink Razer Viper mouse. On the right is their PC, which consists of an NZXT H700 case that is housing a Ryzen 3700X, Palette GameRock RTX 2080 Super, a Corsair H100i Platinum and cooler, 16GB of Corsair Vengeance RAM, and an MSI motherboard, which is a fun variety of bright and colourful RGB. Everything in this build really lends itself to the theme of the build and makes it feel like a fun and wholesome place to hang out and game in. Our next setup has a completely opposite vibe to the previous one, with this very dark and moody minimalistic build from Dynaragam. They've got a very nice single monitor setup with an LG monitor that is made to look super sleek with the use of Xiaomi screen bar. For peripherals, we've got a Keychron K4 keyboard with Maxi Orange on Dolce SA keycaps, a Logitech G305 mouse, a Yamaha Steinberg C12 Plus audio interface, a Sennheiser 599 headset, and an Edifier R1700 BT speakers. I always love to see darker themed setups, especially ones like this which are done just so well. Coming in at our number 1 spot is this insane battle station, perfect for gaming and making music on. This setup has a total of 7 monitors of wildly different sizes, with the 2 smaller ones on the left being the ViewSonic TD2230 monitors. On the music side of the setup, you'll see huge variety of gear on the racks, including a Lexicon PCM81 with the dual FX card, an Eventide Eclipse, a TC Electronics Fireworks, a Yamaha SBX 2000, a Boss XS, a Boss SX700, a Yamaha Motif, a Moog Slim Fatty, an EMU Proteus 2000, a Steinberg UR824, a Fractal Axe 3, a Lexicon MPX1, and a Lexicon MPG G2. I'll be honest, I've no idea what any of those things are. And that is the end of today's list. Check out the description for a list of a lot of the gear that I've mentioned in the video. If you want to see more of these incredible setups, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment down below on which setup you think should have been number 1.